won't leave much behind, drag me down. Because it's time to find that place where the water tastes like wine. Let's see. Where are we going? Right, we got some people over there farther into the married land. So we want to go east.
My twin brother Paul and I always got into trouble, but we were good.
Alright.
We didn't do nothing to anybody until we left.
It's fair.
Then we hurt a lot of people. Me, more so than Paul, because he didn't make it through. The march I was on, the bonus army, it's less a bonus and more an acknowledgement of what I've had to suffer. Civilians will never understand.
I mean, I fully support you as part of the bonus army. You deserve all that money and more.
So anyway, tell me a funny story? You seem like you know a few good ones.
Alright, I mean, maybe. The Armagnac is always cracks him up. Do that.
Yeah, Paul would have liked that one. Imprisonment? The more days I check off, the more I'm convinced that birth is an imprisonment. I must eat, so I must have money. I must have money, so I must work. It's an inevitable prison. Know any good jokes? I'm not so good at telling them anymore.
Man, you want happy stuff. I don't know if I have any good jokes. Yeah, I know this one.
Wish I could tell that one to my sister. Joy? Getting your hands into the earth and helping something grow. That'll bring anyone joy. Anyone with a bit of humanity.
That's fair.
So anyway, tell me a funny story? You seem like you know a few good ones.
Man, all you want's funny stories. I am fresh out of funny stories. How about the corn farmer?
Got nightmares enough without hearing that kind of horror. My wishes come true? Well, if I could wish for anything, it'd probably be for a nice, plentiful garden, away from everyone else. My own land, my own laws, Tell me a happy story.
Yeah.
Something to make the world seem kind.
Okay, well, I do have some of those. The Two Brothers.
I liked that one. There's some hope left for you too, you know. Don't give it away too quickly.
Alright, if you say so.
My family. They were good to me. Ma and Pa. And to Paul. And to my sister Jessie. Some days I wish I could find Jessie again and have her help me. She always liked Paul best. Do you know any happy stories? Hopeful ones?
Is the Pigeon Keeper a happy story? Maybe?
I don't really scare at that stuff anymore. Sorry. Love? It was a real long time ago. pulled a ribbon on her hair, her pigtails came undone, and she tattletaled on me. Never really tried after that. Here's the sun. I've got to go. I'm headed up the road this way. Will our paths cross?
I mean, probably.
Days come and go and the terrors return. They'll never be able to pay back what they owe me, but I'll always keep at 'em. What about you? Is there something somebody owes you?
Sure.
Well, I got no companion except the wind and the sea. And when I'm cold and empty, they're the ones who'll bury me.
You walk along the tracks for an hour toward the smell of the coal baking in the sun. The train is idling at the station, sputtering, exhausted. A child paces up and down the line of black carriages, clutching a bundle of rags to her chest. She cranes her neck, figuring the height of the cars.
Hello there, friend.
You scared her half to death. She stares, absolutely petrified as you approach. "It was an accident," she whispers. All you can see in the heap of blankets she carries in her arms is the infant's tiny leg, pale and blue.
My vagrant song.
Across the street from this bar, a man in full uniform stares fixedly at the horizon. The older guys on the porch are watching him with an expression you read as deep distaste.
What's up? What's up?
"That boy wasn't in the war," one tells you. "His older brother died in France. But Junior here tells people he fought, and he stands there in the middle of town once or twice a week in his brother's uniform, so we gotta see it." He spits in the dirt.
That's disgusting. How dare you steal valor on this, the 4th day of July?
"You're damn right. It's crime, I think," the old man says. Cups his hands around his mouth and shouts, "Hey, Junior, go fuck yourself."
Hey, wait.
Junior gives you the exact kind of matte finish stare you always see on men who left themselves behind in the war. "I don't expect you to understand me," he drawls, "but this is the way it's gotta be." He marches into the dark, an uncanny shadow of his dead brother's parade ground perfection.
Oh my. And while in the cool shade of the gas station, those 3 kids sit beside their family car while their parents argue loudly with the cashier. Children seem embarrassed to see the older brother lean over and distract his siblings with a story. I tell them the story about the legendary Gwen Michet, the richest and most ruthless bootlegger ever. We realize instantly he's telling a new version of the tale of the shootout between the female bootleggers and the cops with new exciting over-the-top details. He tells it well. Let's come stomping fearlessly out of the gas station, you make yourself scarce. I'm missing the ending of the boy's new story, but the part you heard is definitely easy to remember. It'll stick with you for a while. Alright, so that's fully woken up. So if I go to... Okay, I don't have any other stories to swap it with. Alright. Let's go over here.
Stranger, it's good to see you again. You know, I'm gonna see this whole world one day. But for now, I just got my sights set on seeing all 48 of the great U.S.
Fair enough.
I already seen 10 whole states. That's better than my folks ever done, that's for sure. Plenty of townies and even some tramps treat me like I'm kid simple. But I ain't helpless. and I only act it when I ain't got no better choice, like if I get pinched.
That's fair.
I do right fine on my own. Don't need nobody but Cass and Flip. I'm in the mood for something real funny like.
Okay. I got this sick one about a girl in a basket. Cracks everyone up.
I'll remember that one. A couple good jokes can get you out of a fix sometimes. Joy. I surely have seen some joyful scenes in my travels. Just a few trains back, I was invited to partake in a harvest by some kindly folk. Had quite the feast, and the dogs got to run around a farm.
That sounds good.
Wasn't until after I was heading out that I saw the little baby graves. Strange to play stand-in for ghosts. Seems joy's all mixed with sadness these days. Makes my head hurt.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Hey, tell me one of those exciting stories.
Exciting story. Monster in the Maelstrom. That sounds exciting.
Well, that was something. You spin a good yarn. In this country, I don't rightly know what this thing called America is. I know what I done been told in school, but the words don't fit the picture.
That's right. It's true.
What with tramping across the whole thing, figure I'll find out for myself soon enough. Hey, do you got any really thrilling stories to tell? I'm hankering for one of those.
Thrilling, huh? Let's tell the story of the Hatchet Thief. I don't know if that's thrilling, but
I usually like the scary stuff, but your story needed more punch, I think. Change. Change ain't coming, stranger. It's already here, so they say. Got a whole country tied together with rails and roads and still can't feed everybody.
yeah, it's a shame, isn't it?
Between you and me, I think that ain't ever gonna change. Can or can't got nothing to do with it. Hey, tell me a funny story. You seem like you still got a sense of humor.
These people are running me ragged at jokes. Don't have very many jokes.
That was a chuckle to be sure. Being trapped, caged. You think beggardom is a prison? No, stranger. Beggardom is freedom. Responsibility is the real trap, wound tight like an old spring.
Yeah, fair enough.
Pride and pretending'll bleed folk dry, and then when there ain't nothing left to be proud of, when they can't pretend no more, they'll unwind. I want to hear one of them venturing tales. Got any?
Venturesome tales, maybe. The grid creature in Detroit.
Were you trying to scare me? Well, you didn't go far enough.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
remember lots of folks talking about fate and fortune before I started my travels. Talk on the river was about them populists and their Louisiana governor. Some folks say they was up to no good, that they was lazy and un-American, cheating fate with government meddling. Others said we all got the right to be kings, if we'd only let all folks have a fair shot. I suppose I ain't right in line with neither, but I don't think there's nothing un-American about needing help.
Amen.
Well, sun's coming up, so I've got to get ready to go. Thanks for the tales, friend. Where you heading next? Decided yet? Maybe our paths will cross. I'm going up the road this way myself. Hope I'll see something fun. I generally do, you know. There's interesting things to see everywhere if you keep your eyes open.
Fair enough. Farmer's loitering behind a couple of crates of berries, watching out clouds go by, waiting for the pickup, he says, trying to make small talk. Hey, you want to hear a wild story? Thinking about how there ain't been a man hired to age on anywhere in New York City in over a month. Takes a couple minutes, but he suddenly recognizes the strip at the main road travel 600 miles for a single job. Told the farmer changed. Well, by a lot, but it's pretty good. Well, I can't remember. I think I've known it for years, since I was a boy. Can't be right. I'll leave you with your tale. Thank you for a story and start moseying off down the road. Keep cool, friend, he calls after you. I mean, that's fair. Okay. Yeah. Put the grifter out there. Black Gross and the French was watching with unsettling touching. Hey friend, hear about trains? Locomotion, that's life, yeah. I mean, but bulls really don't like it when we ride empty boxcars. You get caught, you get beaten. No wings, just motors, yeah. Only safe crossings. Stu, you know, speak doesn't move, it speaks. Before you can tell anything else about it, it flies off. Alright.
The stream is a clear, reflective shade of blue. Unusual in this region, where bog iron colors the river's brown. Across the way, a goat with great leather wings laps up the water, its sunken red eyes fixed on your every movement. You now notice the unnatural absence of wildlife. No fish swim in the stream. No birds sing in the trees. The winged goat drinks with a forked tongue, only abstractly concerned with your presence.
No, I gotta go meet this goat, clearly.
Over the hill, a scorched one-room house lies abandoned, 2 of its 4 walls in ruins. The goat rears up, front hooves curled, and stretches its wings out to their full breadth.
Alright,
The
that's
winged
enough.
goat doesn't follow. Instead, it lies down inside the burnt house, surrounded by portraits of a large family, glass frames stained brown from smoke.
I'll move on. Winged goat by pristine water. Let's see how I'm doing on a map. He's up there in Massachusetts. See the campfire up there. There you go. It got me for a while, but the weather and crops takes a different tack. You look like someone likes a good story. Try this one on for size. Loudly repeat and clean your throat. Tell the story of a soldier who came back from the dead for love. Sounds like the story of the soldier who journeyed 20 years for love. Some parts changed, another added. And some be the conclusion of the tale, you give him effusive praise. remember that version. It's a good story. Yeah, I'm doing it, man. Alright. He's gone.
First, Ma and Pa wanted me and Paul in the front lines. They wanted someone to be proud of, and I did as they asked. Then the government wanted me to take an IOU, and I did. When there were no more jobs, I, along with thousands of others like me, went and asked Hoover to pay up. General MacArthur was so scared of us, he brought in goddamn tanks to keep us from tearing apart DC. So anyway, tell me a funny story? You seem like you know a few good ones.
I really don't. You're gonna hate all of my stories. Fishermen and Seagulls.
Life ain't like that, in my experience. But I guess my experience ain't normal. The future? When I was young, I worried about the future. But now, running all on autopilot and fumes, I've got no control over it. So worry has become me. You know any good jokes? I'm not so good at telling them anymore.
I really don't. Thunderbird
That
people?
can't be true. That sounds like a Navy tale.
Yeah.
Freedom. Not many of us are free from suffering. Well, war's doing the opposite of stopping that.
Yeah, pretty well.
So anyway, tell me a funny story? You seem like you know a few good ones.
I really don't. I really don't, friend. Trucker lineman.
And that's what you think when you think of tragedy. Huh. Death. Well, Pa didn't talk to me after what happened to Paul. They think I should have helped him. I wasn't there. They weren't there. They won't forget him. You know any good jokes? I'm not so good at telling them anymore.
Got no jokes, man. Here's the lemonade. My sick lemonade joke.
I don't really scare at that stuff anymore. Sorry. Heaven. I've already seen it. It's a little clean for my taste, but since Paul's there, you won't hear me complaining.
Huh? How about the music store?
I got nightmares enough without hearing that kind of horror. The past? I wish I could go back. Before I had to mourn. And before all the hope was drained from me. The night's over soon. I should be leaving. The road takes me this way next. Where's it taking you? I wish there was a road I could take home. Home as I knew it. To my sister Jessie and all of them before the war. But there ain't. It's something I think the road is helping me to understand.
That's fair. My computer doesn't like this particular song for some reason. Little town up there. Maybe they have funny stories. Burlington.
Is Daddy still sleeping? The girl whines. I'm bored. The boys share a look. Yeah, see, he was real tired. They see you, and one boy pulls C away, saying, I think I saw a lizard, come on. The remaining boy silently gestures for you to look in the car.
But I want to look at the lizard. The lizard sounds cool.
A man in faded overalls is curled up over the back seats. He's not breathing. He's gone, says the boy, tracing his foot in the dust. I need help to get him out.
All right.
You carefully lift the body out of the car. You don't have nothing to dig a hole. You settle for laying the body behind a boulder, which the boy marks with chalk. We got family back east. I know how to drive. We got enough gas for another day, maybe?
Here's some money. I don't have much, but
Thank
you can
you.
have it.
This will buy us enough gas to get us somewhere we can find help. He glances at the boulder, then hides his face from you. I tell C, Dad went on ahead.
Oof.
As you approach the farmhouse, a flock of crows lands in the field ahead. A wave of anguish washes over you, and when the world snaps back into focus, a man stands amongst the crows. Death has come to this place, he says.
And you are?
I am here for the deceased. As he speaks, two crows fly out from the farmhouse towards him, each carrying a large rectangle of colorful cloth. Poor boys came out here to have some last peace.
Who died?
The two boys who lived there, lovers, who lived as they died. Too young, with the world turned away from them. Finally taken by the illnesses they could not fight. He takes a cloth from the birds, panels like tapestries, names stitched into them.
What's that cloth?
He holds them up. Their names, the stories of their lives told by those who loved them, to be added to the quilt of all the others. Thousands, to remember the tragedy, the terror, the grief, the entire generation we lost.
Seems a little early to be making the AIDS quilt in the timeline of this game, but to a better future, baby.
The man nods. Only by knowing our history, our stories, and why they were allowed to happen, can we strive forward to a better tomorrow. Then, he bursts into 100 crows and flies away into the dusk.
A huge storm, yeah. Help them out. I can't go into Canada.
Hey, where you going, friend? Two figures hop down and around a grassy knoll. One long and ropey and human, a bindle on his shoulder. The other a lean little dog, tawny as the Mojave Desert.
Always got to pet the dog.
The dog doesn't look much like a dog up close, but something wilder. Its ears long and its amber-washed eyes knowing. Tilts its head into your palm.
Oh yeah, gotta really pet that dog.
The dog, which is very likely not a dog, not with the way it grins at you, all teeth and the noonlight snagging in its stare, lets out a low, rough laugh. Gotta say, that was mighty brave of you. Dig your nails a little deeper, sugar. Ooh, there we go. Oh, yeah. It begins to wag its gold-brindled tail. Hope you get to meet Ben someday. He'd love you.
Tell me about Ben.
It slants a sly look at the man-thing that stands beside you both. Oh, that ain't Ben. No. That's just a bindle of bones. Hard for a coyote to walk around alone these days. Too many questions. Not enough turkey legs.
Coyote?
The coyote, illusions shed like a winter coat, sits herself down and peers down her nose at you. Her eyes like the amber of ship lights in the dark. Were you expecting a dog? Ain't got a dog anywhere that can do what we do, I'm afraid.
No, I'll just have to move on.
Well, I'm gonna heft my spade upon my weary back. I'm gonna keep that stride stuck in my soul. 'Cause when my coals burn low and my trains run out of track, no one else to dig my hole.
The old man sits by the roadside. A post protrudes from the dirt. A mismatched set of horseshoes tethered to the top with colorful string. I wish I knew where it went, he mutters. He glances up and startles. I know you. We've met before, haven't we? I know you.
I think you're mistaken, friend.
He stands, triumph in his smile. It's been 50 years, but I'd recognize you anywhere, General. He fingers his lapel. I don't have it anymore, but I remember that day so well. You shook my hand. He offers that hand to you.
There you go.
There's a jolt as your palms meet. The sky grows dark. A faceless crowd gathers, a hodgepodge of uniforms and insignia. The old man smiles. Years melt from him. And then you said... The response leaps from your tongue. This is for your bravery. There's a medal in your hand.
Yeah, let's just pin that medal on here.
He grins, salutes. The horde around you falls, 100 spectral soldiers dropping into the dirt. You step back. The darkness recedes, and the world is as it was. But the old man still wears the medal. Well, how about that? Thank you, stranger.
You're welcome. Alright, we're still in chapter
Here you
2.
are again. How's the journey treating you? I'm still heading back to Oregon. My sister Jessie won't take me back. Wish she would. Wish it was her I was going back to. She doesn't understand. Almost nobody does. If they did, they would have given us something real for what we suffered. Do you know any happy stories? Hopeful ones?
There you go. I know this one.
For a moment there. Just a moment. I felt better about it all too. The past? I wish I could go back. Before I had to warn. And before all the hope was drained from me. Know any good jokes? I'm not so good at telling them anymore.
I mean, I don't. Maybe that's a joke.
You know, the government told us to keep our chins up too. But I didn't believe them either. The future? When I was young, I worried about the future. But now, running all on autopilot and fumes, I've got no control over it. So worry has become me. Tell me a happy story. Something to make the world seem kind.
Don't know if I have a happy story, buddy.
I liked that one.
There we go.
There's some hope left for you too, you know.
Oh,
Don't give it away too
am I
quick.
skipping? What's up?
My journey? If you look at it all at once, it'll overwhelm you. It'll hurt your mind. If you take it day by day, then it won't hurt quite so much. My foot bears it a bit better. Do you know any happy stories? Hopeful ones?
I do not, but I have made you are very happy already, so I'm just gonna tell something that I want to grow. The white deer.
I don't mean to be rude, but civvies don't understand what real tragedy is.
Yeah, I guess not.
Freedom. Not many of us are free from suffering. Well, war's doing the opposite of stopping that. Tell me a happy story. Something to make the world seem kind.
I really don't think I got one of those.
Oh, come on. That doesn't sound real. Home? Everything has one, or everything should. Everything deserves one. I don't really tell this to people, but you know those little purple thistles, the prickly ones?
Mm-hmm. Know all about them.
Cirsium vulgare, they're called. Common weeds, but I love the little scratchy flowers and feel a little disappointed yanking out their roots. They never hurt anyone. Well, morning's come. The road takes me this way next. Wish it were taking me home. The family always did like Paul more anyhow. Loyalty to him is the only loyalty I don't regret. Even the other soldiers of the bonus army, they had families to go back to. I got my sister Jessie, and she's not letting her gimp brother home anytime soon.
Well, I'm gonna heft my spade up upon my weary back. I'm gonna keep that stride stuck in my
Oh. Singer and actress? Oh. Women communicate with wood spirits. Yeah. Someone should do a picture about it. I agree. Where's Pittsburgh? No, I'm just gonna go to Pittsburgh anyway. Why not? Nice.
O'er the waters of this land, and by I'll see them far and long. 'Cause when the night come down for to take me hand in
No, another woman.
my tail,
Fortune teller's dark past stain the souls of clients. Ooh.
this will be my tale, my vagrant song.
Hi, Quinn.
Huh, look at you. Well, I didn't know if we'd meet again, but I'm glad we did. Set yourself down here with me and Cass and Flip. Need a drink of water? Need to warm up? Still trying to see much of this country as I can. Folks I meet are sometimes kind, sometimes mean, and sometimes still perplex me. But all of them beats the folks I left behind. How about you? Seen anyone interesting since we last met? You got any happy stories?
Happy stories. I mean, maybe. Go with the fishermen and the seagulls. That's happy, right?
Sometimes I need a tale like that just to remind me it's not all depressed out there. Huh, the future. I suppose I'll just keep heading west. California sounds mighty fine, and most everyone is heading that way anyhow.
Fair
I
enough.
want a story that scares me. Now I'm older, almost nobody can do it. Give me your best shot.
What about the girl in the stones? That's kind of scary.
Not sure I quite follow that one. This country. I don't rightly know what this thing called America is. I know what with tramping cro- Hey, do you got any...
Thrilling stories, okay. Leatherman Ghost, how about that?
That was a chuckle to be sure. But do you know anything more lively? Faith. Well, I ain't the religious type, though I was raised in the Christian way. I reckon I don't see no point to trusting a God who could squash you in an instant.
That's fair.
Such a situation don't exactly breed trusting. Hey, tell me a funny story. You seem like you still got a sense of humor.
I totally don't.
Were you trying to scare me? Well, you didn't go far enough. Huh. Travel. Yeah, I want to see it all. The whole world. My brother used to read me stories of Jules Verne, of rich folks traveling around the world, and all for a lousy bet. It didn't sit right with me that folk with all the coin in their purse should also keep the world in their back pocket. I aim to grab a little piece for myself.
Hell yeah.
Hey, tell me one of those exciting stories.
There we go. Rider in the Northwest Woods.
I usually like the scary stuff, but your story needed more punch, I think. Being trapped, caged. You think beggardom, pride, and pretending will bleed folk dry. And then when there ain't nothing left to be oh, heck. The night's over already. I sure enjoyed talking to you, but I gotta get on. I think I'll see what's happening up the road. Sometimes I surely do wonder what'll become of this land. Folks have been chasing the dream of tying it up for so long. Now they got their wish. Things are worse than ever. Maybe America was never meant to be held in your hand like this.
Love the whistle. Yeah, well, we're making some progress. Got a lot of people still to meet and a lot of country to see. First, I want to finish up those talking heads. I think I need to go this way for a little while at least. Columbus. Used to date a girl around Columbus.
Friend, it's good to see you again. We've both covered many miles since we last met, but your words are fresh in my mind. I've wanted to finish telling you about what it's really like being a porter, about who I am, really, about the many things I am, the many roles I play. Are you ready to hear, friend? Have any optimistic tales? I'd like to hear one of those. Just like I told you, friend, miles of smiles. Choice. What's choice mean when you didn't choose to be born black in this country?
Yeah.
I choose to make the best living I can out of a difficult situation, not chosen with my best interests in mind. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Oh, that I probably have. About the Northeast Woods Rider.
So, does that one scare you? Traps? Well, I'm about as free as a black man can get. But there's still so much that's got me trapped. My train, my boss, my money, my face, my smile. Anyway, I'm in the mood for a good happy story. You got any? A positive attitude. That's what I like to hear. Travel is changing the world, friend. When we drop off a new jazz album someplace folks ain't... Now, we ain't writing those damn songs. Hey, do you know any
Spooky stories. Now that I have. How about the white deer? That's kind of spooky.
That one will probably ruin the mood if I share it in my quarters. When do I feel free? Well, it's always a party when the train rolls through Harlem. There's a real movement happening. So much art and thinking and expressing it. Money and trains only gives a sort of body freedom. Mind freedom is something else. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
About the future taxing.
Didn't I hear that story on the radio? You told it better, though. When I say the future's in the hands of porters like me, I mean it. Pullman porters help not quite rich and not quite poor white folks feel fancy for a change.
Mm-hmm.
But now, that's making us a bunch of not quite rich and not quite poor black folks. Curious to see what comes of that. Seeing yourself as just one part of a whole people can make you feel real small. I believe some black folks become porters to try to get above all that. But they just end up feeling small in a different type of way. I think of all I am in all the masks I wear. Franklin, black man, Pullman porter, railroad man, union man, and how none tell the whole story. So why try?
I guess so.
It's freeing to know you mean more than what other folks think. So what about you, friend? Who are you, completely?
Alright, Franklin's story complete. We got one done. Sorry, corn farmers started working to pagan god to save their harvest. Farmers' children, but heavily embellished. Oh. Oh. Deer chose death over enslavement. Oh, cool.
The car is a lifeline. Your one hope to escape the encroaching storm. It rattles along a few yards ahead of the storm front, jouncing and juddering. One pothole away from being swallowed by the choking dust. A figure clings to support straps mounted on the back.
Let's catch a ride.
You grab the straps and haul yourself up.
Oh,
Shouts the woman on the back.
a fellow observer.
She's wrapped in a scarf and aviation goggles, juggling a pen and a notebook while hanging onto the unsteady car. The dust scours your face and rips at your clothes.
Can't we go a little bit faster, friend?
We're not done with our observations.
She threads one arm through the straps and makes another attempt to write, but it comes out illegible.
Blast it. Get inside and take dictation, will you?
Yeah, okay.
You clamber through the open back window, and she hands you pen and notebook. You scribble furiously while she dictates the finer qualities of the dust and wind assaulting the car until her voice is hoarse.
That'll do.
She bangs on the roof.
Judith, let's go.
Woman who studied dust storms. All right.
The plants grow and blossom as you watch. The man goes down the line, applying a few drops from a vial as he goes. As a liquid soaks in, each plant pushes up from the soil, unfolding and stretching for the sky.
It's a miracle, baby.
He turns to you.
It's quite something, isn't it? Soy here strangles the crops. People are starving. But even when the plants survive, they don't grow fast enough to fill people's bellies.
He smiles.
My miracle formula will change that.
How does it work, friend?
He shakes his head.
I'm not giving up my secrets that easily. The state will pay a lot of money for this.
He shakes the vial. He tears off a leaf.
Here, try some.
Delicious plant.
It's just bitter at first, but as you swallow, the fibrous mass burns in your throat. You fight to hold it down, and your stomach knots tight when the plant matter hits it. You cough and hiccup. The man looks at you, curious.
What do you think?
Tastes like unwashed death, friend.
He waves a hand.
Well, yes, there are some kinks to work out, but people are starving. They can't be fussy. It won't be long before no one around here goes hungry again.
Your stomach protests. You feel like you'll be hungry again very soon indeed.
Dubious but promising miracle growth roll. No, okay. A lot of dudes to the south. Let's head south. Actually, going to Cincinnati. I don't think we've been here. Oh. Yeah. Hi, child. Aw, thanks.
The corridors of Cincinnati's music hall reverberate with the sounds of an orchestra warming up for rehearsal.
If we unbolt the light rig, we can crush them,
Says a voice up ahead. No, another answers. Hiding Baldy's baton will be sufficient to stop the din. The tuxedoed men are slightly transparent. Mustachio on the right has his arms folded. The weaselly one on the left scowls. They start at your arrival.
I'm gonna undo those bolts.
Weasel feature vanishes into thin air.
Damn it all.
Says the other man.
Now, what was that all about?
We used to be members of the orchestra until, well, you know. Patrick doesn't care for the new blood. It seems like talent died with us. So he does his damnedest to stop them playing. But I can't allow violence against fellow artists. Help me stop him.
How do I stop a ghost?
With the right tool, you can banish them from the hall. You see, no spirit can stand the sound of the purest of all instruments.
The violin?
No,
The banjo?
no,
The sousaphone?
no.
The octobas?
He shakes his head, exasperated.
No! The triangle. The orchestra has one, but their percussionist's a sop. He never hits it right. If you can get there, you can ensure the only thing brutalized here today is Chopin.
No, I gotta brutalize Chopin.
The orchestra is midway through practice. They're in dire need of it. The percussionist dozes on his stool. Everyone's oblivious to the muttering from the lighting rig. You sprint down the aisle and elbow through the incensed musicians. The percussionist falls off his stool as you clamber over his xylophone. You grab the beater and bring it down onto the triangle, eliciting a pure, resounding note. And
Yes?
the rafters ring with laughter. The mustachioed ghost appears next to you, doubled over, invisible to the furious orchestra.
I never thought you'd fall for that. The triangle, for God's sake. Thanks for shutting them up, though.
Oh, you're welcome. Alright. Let's see, so we wanted to go south, right? Yes, we wanted to go very south. Think a car will take me across the bridge? Nope. Let's cross at the crossing and we'll go hitchhiking. Oh, come on, I'm just a cool skeleton. I'm almost to Nashville. Thanks for the ride. Nashville, Tennessee. Birmingham. Gigantic bird. Oh. Storm generated by the gigantic bird. Yep, Thunderbird.
The cave is really a man-made hole breaching into an earthen mound. The man, khakis dirtied by kneeling on the rough earth, has assembled a macabre little pile of skulls to the side.
What you doing, friend?
Readying these for sale, friend.
He wipes his hands on his pants.
This pile of skulls, clearly claimed from his enemies by an Indian chieftain, would be perfect for any cabinet of curiosities or sideshow attraction.
But why are you robbing a grave?
Why, these skulls belong to no one. They're just here, lying under this mound, waiting for an enterprising soul to make something of them. Isn't this what America's all about?
Well, I mean, I can't really disagree with that, even though it sucks.
Little sunlight reaches that deep in, but you can still see the skeletal remains, their heads carelessly removed, laying neatly in their excavated resting places, each one lovingly surrounded by stone effigies, earthenware, and copper plates in the shape of winged warriors.
Yeah, fuck off, man.
You pause and consider this small man, greedily arranging someone's remains as though they were a trinket for a mantelpiece. It's crude and ridiculous, but he's a crude and ridiculous man. You have him run off the mound, sworn never to tell of what he's seen.
Horrible
Fear
ghosts.
of monsters and ghosts. It's a small thing, but a kindness you hope.
Grave robber at the burial mound.
You rest in a field where a well-dressed stranger talks your ear off on all manner of subjects. The weather, fireflies in summer, how combine harvesters work. After a while, the mood shifts.
Heard my death bones this morning.
What's your death bones?
Death bones. Heard 'em rattle like clank, clink, clank. More startling than wind chimes in a tornado. He plucks dry grass and chews on a piece. Ain't much time left now.
You seem pretty young, though.
That don't matter. I'm fine. Got my savior waiting at the pearly gates. The man shifts uncomfortably. Huh, at least I do as of this afternoon, I hope. Nearly knocked the pastor's door down earlier.
Yeah, all right. Well, at least you're taking precautions.
Sure was good to meet you. The man pauses, rubs his chin in contemplation. Don't let the bedbugs bite. He walks off slow. After his silhouette becomes small in the horizon, but before he vanishes, you see him collapse to the ground.
Well, I met a man downtown. Smile as white as death. Eyes like rolling dice.
I take a look at you. Figure we're heading to the same place. You've been walking a long time, same as me, trying to find where you fit.
Yeah, sounds about right.
You ever wonder if that place don't exist? No shame in it, I do. Plenty of time I wonder if I'll just walk forever.
I hope that's not true, but some days it feels like it.
You start to wonder, how did I get here? When you're alone, all you have is all this time. Time to trace the lines back to where things started. So how about a scary tale? We're here at a campfire in the dead of night after all.
Scary tale, I got you covered.
That's a tall one. Must be nice to have a home. Place to call your own. Under Cropleen, I didn't really own shit, if you excuse my language. You buy things that pay off at the end of the season. Soon you realize even your own bed ain't a guarantee. So, tell me a sad story. Sad and true, okay?
Sad and true. All right.
Body and soul. No one would say my father was free. Sometimes I think about whether my father would find my life all that different from his. You got any good happy stories where things work out for someone, maybe?
These two brothers together.
That was a good one. Wish I could have your stories around when I'm in a dark place, you know? Family. Sharecroppers Union told me they were like a family. You ever get in a firefight for your brothers and sisters? You got any exciting stories? Anything that'll get my heart going?
How about old Barney the Scarecrow?
Trying to scare me. Ain't working. I guess you can tell I've had my share of run-ins with authority. It ain't a secret that the white man hates Negroes, but it's always new to feel that hate. The newness of how much they hated a Negro in a union was something different altogether. Look in a man's eye when they're aiming to kill you. It's as sharp as a gunshot. But anyway, you, know any good true tragedies? I feel like one of those tonight.
True tragedy, huh? Really don't know if I do.
Come on, you can't shock me. Stories about traveler. Well, good, I suppose. When I first picked up the move, it weren't by choice. Had me in shackles. Here's the sun. I got to get going. My route goes up this way, but I sure did enjoy talking to you. It's probably the kind of story you've heard a million times. Down on your luck, need work, take whatever you can get. How about you? Does my life sound familiar?
Yeah. Which girl are kitten familiars? Girl with the basket of kittens. Oh, okay. Sure.
Giving up is its own peculiar kind of joy. Ain't nothing like it. No man so good, no smoke so deep. When the devil found me, I was on the edge of that cliff. He had seen deep inside me. He knew, and we made a deal. Ooh, how about a story about the dark and scary things in the world?
Killers on the streets.
That's a mite sad right now. Yeah, there's some sadness I own. Sadness I should have had, but never did. You see, Mama never told me Marcus was sick. Ooh, now I'm in the mood for a story with a bit of that tragedy to it.
Tragedy. Drunken lineman, is he tragic?
Oh, now that pain. Death. I did not think that death could or would touch me before I met the devil. I felt I was too worthless even for death.
Fair enough.
I never feared the devil, no. He took something from me, but he gave me back something I lost too. Ooh, now I'm in the mood for a story with a bit of that tragedy to it.
What about old Barney?
Trying to scare me, but I don't care for that one. Authority. I pushed back against the man in charge before. There's a few towns where I have a reputation. I don't get along with folks. Can you blame me? When you've been played, you start to want to play others.
That's right.
Ooh, now I'm in the mood for a story with a bit of that tragedy to it.
Yeah. How about the boy who ran away with his father?
I drink to that. I didn't do my duty to my family. Every year I thought about Marcus less and less. I carried a picture of him in my guitar case, a sight that started to look like broken strings, picks as the years went on. I threw him away. I thought I loved him, but he was nothing to me. Ooh, now I'm in the mood for a story with a bit of that tragedy to it.
How about the old grifter?
Just don't get that one, I'm afraid. Love. My brother dying sucked the love right out of me. Never been back to Memphis since then. The sun is up. One more night gone. And I gotta go. I'm headed down the road this way.
All right.
There's more I'd like to tell you, though, about the deal I made with the devil. It ain't a story I tell everyone, but I think you should hear it. Someone should hear it. Someone should know the things I've done.
First tree in a mile, and it's a stout myrtle with bald branches. No relief from the sun out here. Leaves would help. Someone hadn't replaced them all with dusty glass bottles.
Let's just take a rest.
You cool down in the shade. A breeze blows through the bottles, making a series of heavy, hollow sounds. You think about wind chimes and the smell of fresh pies on windowsills. The dense sound of many conversations cuts your nap short. There's no one around. Not until you look up at the bottles. They're filled with bright blue orbs, and words echo from them. None seem to notice your presence.
Can't get enough. Porcelain, chrome, the rusty ones. Gotta turn those sleek faucets. Ever find me in a hardware store, I'm gonna haunt it till the cows come home.
Laughter rumbles inside neighboring bottles.
Gonna cleanse my soul. Oh, that current gonna take firm hold of me. That water
That's some money. That's good. Hot Lana.
He's small for his age. Boy of 13 or so, sitting on an upturned bucket by the side of a tiny wedge of farmland. The dog, as though by contrast, is massive, an enormous yellow-brown mutt. He's called Rover, the boy explains.
Paul says he can't come with us.
Why not?
West.
You notice the Model A truck on the yard, piled high with furnishings and trunks and bags and knots of rope to tie it all together. And upon all that, too, yet more dust and grit.
Paul says it has to be better.
Why can't Rover go?
With one toe tip, he scratches a parabola on the dead, dry ground.
Paul says we can't afford to feed Rover no more.
You can't tell where the blonde of the dog's coat ends and the omnipresent dust begins. Same goes for the boy's hair.
Will you take him?
Yes, definitely.
Rover follows you eagerly after you feed him the tiniest sliver of jerky. But a few hours later, he snaps to attention, as though hearing some distant noise your ears can't catch. The last you see of him are the markings left by his dirty pelt on the leaves of the underbrush.
Boo.
we gonna tear it down.
How's the map looking? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go all the way down to Miami. Why not, right? Let's go into Hot Lana. And there's suffering, you can tell.
You find yourself in a poker game on the third floor of the Winecoff Hotel. Sometimes these things just happen. The man with the burned face to your left He never gave his name. Growls at the smiling man seated on your right. You ain't got the stomach. I killed men for lessons in that pot. Smiler plays on and takes the hand. The burned man bares his teeth. This hand comes down to the burned man and Smiler. Walk away, boy, says the burned man. Smiler drops his grin. Ain't your boy, Roy. Roy's eye twitches. Smiler outplays Roy again, and a new hand comes around.
Well, maybe I got a good hand this time.
You've got an okay hand. Not a world beater, but not nothing.
I'll play cautiously.
You play your hand well and push Smiler into folding. You scrape a good number of chips into your pile. Roy's preoccupied and has to be nudged into dealing. You finally hit a decent hand.
Make it count.
Roy is still staring at Smiler. What'd you say your name was? I didn't, but it's Jackson. Jackson, repeats Roy. I knew a Jackson once. There's a fierce look in Roy's eye.
Let's see him.
You play your hand well, but Smiler has you beat. He takes the lion's share of the chips on the table. Roy cashes out and slips away. You play a few more rounds, but that hand practically sewed up the game. As you leave the hotel, you smell smoke. You cross the street and look up. Flames have engulfed the third floor, where you played the game. The fire spreads hungrily. People are leaning out of windows on the floors above, but you can't see any way to help.
Lost all my money. Yeah. Yeah, sure, I'll get water. Okay, so you see a fire down there. Let's go that way.
Faded shotgun houses sit in rows under the tall shadows of smokestacks. A worker in full uniform hollers from a porch. Hey, traveler, join me inside. Got some literature here.
You know I love literature. Hook me up.
As you shut the door, the man glances out the window and draws the shades. Landlord toss you out? Ha, don't mind me, it's none of my business. He pries up a floorboard with a crowbar. You glance over the man's shoulder to see inside the compartment. Canned goods, a pile of leaflets, the wood stock of a rifle. He replaces the board and stands. He hands you a can of whole potatoes, then a leaflet which reads, "No evictions, no fascists, no hunger." Headed back to the shop, but we'll have a Bible meet soon.
Bible meet.
Bible meet. If you don't know James 5:1 by heart, learn it. That's our favorite scripture.
Will do.
No fence, gate, or sign marks the entrance to the cemetery. Just a moment ago, you weren't surrounded by graves, and now you are. How long have you been stepping on dead folks, fully unaware?
What's up with this grave?
A wood board, bleached white. Unknown. The word was painted on black by a steady hand, each letter signed with a flourish. Whoever made this memorial had more compassion than money. You're already quiet, so maybe it's silly. But you instill that silence with intent. What else could someone do?
Yeah, pretty well.
A sparrow calls. Seems birds don't have much respect for the dead. You notice the grave marker isn't dug into the ground, just propped up on a tree. Looks nicer now, but unmoored as these markers are, this grave in front of this tree, does this memorial even belong to it?
I mean, maybe. You never know. Shackles and a ball and chain.
I suppose most expect a Negro to end up in prison. Yeah, there's two kinds in my estimation. There's a prison with bars, where they lock you up after they decided you'd done a crime. And there's also the prison without bars. That's everywhere else, if you look hard enough. But anyway, you, know any good true tragedies? I feel like one of those tonight.
The elegant woman.
Body and soul. I felt some strange sadness, yes. When you get a glimpse of real freedom after being away from it for so long, you forget what it was. That can break you. So, tell me a sad story. Sad and true, okay?
Something sad. Let's see. Boyne's dog. That's sad and true.
I hear you. I'm free now. After all those years of hard labor, they let me go. Kind of felt like being fired from a job. But anyway, you, know any good true tragedies? I feel like one of those tonight.
True tragedy. Boyne's father.
I hear you. Family? It must have been hard for my son without a father. I feel bad for him. Also feel bad for me. So, tell me a sad story. Sad and true, okay?
Off the rotten orchard. That's kind of sad.
Body and soul.
Yeah.
Authority. Well, in the Union, they called us communists. And they called my jailers tyrants. If they tyrants, then they're all the more evil for how easy it gets to live like that. Doing only what they say once you get used to it. So, tell me a sad story. Sad and true, okay?
About the drunken lineman.
I hear you. Death. And when you do time, you're only doing some of your time. It all ends. Like everything else, it ends. Here's the sun. Well, I gotta get ready to leave. It was good talking to you, though you do have some funny ideas how to tell a good story.
Yeah.
I'm heading up the road this way. Maybe we'll meet again. I'd like to tell you more about what it's like coming out of prison. About what it's like on the outside. In a prison without bars.
No, we're going down to Miami, so.
Excusez-moi.
Beckoning you over, the woman shows you a letter, beautifully typeset on thick vellum. You're struck by the scent of a fancy department store. She points on the parchment to the address.
This address, you know?
You are dismayed to read the first paragraph. Lorem ipsum dolor sit amet. And the address under the monogram in the letterhead. 12345 Road Street, Anytown, USA. The woman blinks, hopefully, leaning close over your shoulder.
Yes? You know this place?
She asks. Poor woman. She's been tricked.
Let her down easy.
This place doesn't exist, you try to explain as loud and slowly as possible.
Of course she exists.
The woman snorts, thumping a fist to her chest. You struggle to make yourself understood, but the poor woman whisks the letter away and stomps down the street. Ah well, c'est la vie.
The track won't be no one else to be my home. Except the way
We need a sixth.
She told you, beckoning from the steps of a great dark mansion. And just like that, you found yourself sitting with strangers around a velvet-draped table. Her voice is reedy and high, modulated by the tight collar of her Victorian dress.
Join hands, everyone.
Your host keeps her eyes closed as she beseeches the spirits of the dead. But everyone else around the table lets one lingering, awkward glance bounce around between them. You sense they're just about done humoring her when it happens. A deep, nasty thump beneath the table. The whole table starts to shake, threatening to lift right off the ground. And then, the staid candle flames start flickering like mad, casting ghastly shadows on the walls.
Spookums.
A viciously cold wind cuts through the parlor like sharpened ice. The damned candles are dancing in midair around you now, singeing a hair here and there off the coiffed heads of these well-heeled guests. You notice your host across the table has her eyes open wider than they should go. A rivulet of blood dripping from her nose. When you come to your senses, sunrise has begun to creep in. The parlor is empty but for you and the woman in the old-fashioned dress, who slumped dejectedly over the table.
He didn't show up. All that sound and fury. and no sign of his spirit.
Well, I'm gonna scrawl my name on the bare bones of the earth. I'm gonna dig in my
Oh, yeah. Whippoorwill watching for death. Drunken lineman. It's a great story.
of my worth. I won't leave much to find.
A family of 9 invites you into their home for a meal. Hogs roam free in the yard. They wallow in shady patches of cool mud, not paying any mind as you pass.
Hi, Blueberry. Good to meet ya. I'm quite enjoying it too. First time playing it, but it's very nice.
During supper, the hard wind puts an awful burden on the walls. The glass dishes rumble on the table, but the mother seems calm.
Can't butcher a hog in these parts without me, Ma, hollering for pig's feet.
Could we share with Meemaw?
The mother's heavy sigh gives you the impression her children ask this often.
Me, Ma, wants more pig's feet. Heaven can provide.
Sure. Hey, Sean.
Here you are again. Good to see you on your feet still.
Oh, thanks.
How have you been? Does traveling make you feel free?
I guess you could say that.
This journey has made me see how free I'm not, even though prison's behind me. Now I live in a prison without bars, and I can see it all around me. But anyway, you know any good true tragedies? I feel like one of those tonight.
I don't know if I still do. We'll see. How about John Chapman?
Body and soul.
There you go.
My heaven? Strange story there. No, it don't feel good to live under the boot of the law, but you get used to it. Sometimes you find yourself missing it. You know any good jokes? Funny tales?
Probably not. Mean jokes don't go good, but I do have this last bottle of Armagnac. I tell this one all the time.
Look at me. You got me laughing. Imprisonment. Life was simpler in prison. Not much different from the outside. It's stable. It's all anybody wants, isn't it? Stability. So, tell me a sad story. Sad and true, okay?
Uh-huh. How about the cloud no one's seen before? Color out of space.
You can't shock me.
Oh, I did.
Death. When you do, it all ends. Like everything else, it ends. So, tell me a sad story. Sad and true, okay? I hear you.
Yeah.
I felt some strange sadness, yes. When you get a glimpse of real freedom after being away from it for so long, you forget what it was. That can break you. You got any good happy stories where things work out for someone, maybe?
Here's some bootlegging stories.
Huh. You sure that really happened? Authority. Well, in the Union they called us communists. And they called my jailers tyrants. If they tyrants, then they're all the more evil for how easy it gets to live like that. Doing only what they say once you get used to it. Here's the sun. I got to go. My road takes me up this way. But if we meet again, I'll be glad to talk. What is a man owed in his life, do you think? never think I ask or want for much. Just food, shelter, fair pay for honest work. Is it selfish? I truly have to wonder. Is it selfish to feel like you're owed anything at all? Even that. Tell me, brother, what was it that you wanted? What did life bring you instead?
I wish I knew.
The wind and the sea, and when I'm cold and empty, they're the ones who'll bury me.
Yeah, farmers gave you lemonade. Yeah. It's a great story. You're good at this. You're good at telling stories.
Of this land, and by and
The
by,
blistering sun has scared even birds into the shade. But a middle-aged woman and a young couple are still collecting scraps of cotton that the machinery missed. With a ragged voice, the older woman calls to you. Got any water?
Yeah, sure.
The three of them rush over to you, suddenly reanimated. They pass around your canteen. When you get it back, it's empty. The woman squeezes your hand and sighs with relief. Sweetest thing I ever tasted, she tells you.
Ooh, big deals.
His smile lights up the room, or rather the cab of the locomotive. Folks gather round as he holds the pull cord. He's a showman through and through.
You'll want to cover your ears now for this next part.
All right.
Sure doesn't help much. Engineer pulls that chain and the whistle blasts inside your skull. He just smiles through it all. Man must be half deaf.
Darnation.
A round of applause erupts from the small crowd. He passes out bubble gum to the shell-shocked kids, half of them in awe, half in tears.
Remember now who gets you there on the advertised. Casey Jones.
Everyone's all talk as they head back to their seats. That engineer sure is handsome. Gosh, and that whistle sounded just like a whippoorwill, didn't it? Ain't this the way to travel?
it's tucked in my soul. 'Cause when my coals burn low, when my trains run out of track, won't be no one else to dig my
Electric lamps stipple the cotton field before you with an orange light, moving like a group of lethargic fireflies. From the field, the voices of the workers reach you in a soulful, united song.
All right, take a
You're
little rest.
gently lulled to sleep as the song floats over you. Hello, Lordy, pick a bale of cotton. Hello, Lordy, pick a bale a day. You're pulled out of your slumber by a woman's pained scream and a collection of shouts rising from the field. The woman's screams taper off, soon replaced by the raw cries of an infant. Applause briefly fills the night, eventually fading back into song. Oh, Lordy, you wake up to the gentle crescendo of the worker's song, unsure if it ever ceased at all.
yeah. This will be my tale.
Oh. Monster in the Maelstrom. Yeah.
He sings as he works, his voice warm and soft as the late afternoon sun. The air's sweet with the tang of recently cut sugarcane. There's a practiced, almost soothing precision to the way he works. He looks up and nods hello.
Hello, sir.
Making molasses, he says to your unasked question. I sell the blackstripe in town. Farmers use it for feed. Bitter as hell.
Smells strange.
I don't notice it no more. I've been doing this a while. I keep back a few bottles to share. I don't charge neither. Folks around here need what they can get. Makes a mean loaf of bread. He nods at the barrels. I'm about done filtering. Got to boil it next. Lend a hand?
Sure, happy to help.
You help him haul the barrels over to the metal boiler. You pour in the juice and set the fire. It's hot work. He fetches water and dark bread, and you share the small meal and a smile. It's good to find another who takes joy in honest labor.
Yeah, that's me. Honest Labor Johansson.
The shanty sits on the shore like a lie on a con man's tongue, crowded by thick-spined trees. There's an old man on its porch, and a child, and what looks like 1,000 alligators knotted across the property. My love's being stubborn, sighs a voice behind you. Washed in the half-light, the voice's owner is a certain strange shade of handsome. He leans a shoulder against a tree, smiles at you. You gotta help me talk some sense into her. All I need is 5 minutes. She won't let me through.
No. You gotta handle this yourself. That's how love works.
That look on his face. It could strike down God from their hallowed halls. He exhales, a thin cut of noise, before he dips his chin. Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe I should. Maybe I should tell her sorry like I should have done 10,000 years ago.
I'll give you a hand.
Well, come on then. He crooks a finger at you, and then nimbly, he prowls up to the borders of the house, picking his way through the alligators. Woman, come out of your house now. A voice ricochets through the air, wry and wreathed in warning. Ain't nothing good'll come of that. At the reprimand, the man turns to you, questioning look, cocked.
All right, let's sing a little song.
You open your mouth. What comes out isn't a word, but the note of a song you've not been taught. At the noise, the gators twitch like you'd run barbed wire along their bellies. Go home and leave the gators, says a voice from inside. You ain't wanted here.
Just keep singing.
Well, you know that's not how it's done. When a man loves a woman, she stays with him forever. Now you come out now, before my friend sings a bayou down to his death. The man and child do nothing. You keep singing. All three of you cut loose from personal choice. A woman emerges. Blunt black hair, hungry eyes, face full of warning. This ain't your fight, stranger, she tells you gauzily, storm cloud eyes holding your own. Suddenly, your throat's your own again. Leave.
All right.
She nods at you, gratitude in the curve of her mouth. Whatever you hear, don't turn around. her concern proves unfounded. The alligators prove surprisingly quiet about their business.
Much to find that can be found.
Oh my. Deer that could not be touched by human hands. Oh. Don't have anything to replace it with.
Cause when my coals burn low and my trains run out of track,
Yeah.
won't be
All right.
no one else to dig.
When they let me out, I needed work. Weren't too particular to staying in Alabama after I seen the way those men's eyes went looking at me. My son was headed up to Chicago, and I wrote him a letter. He made it sound like a paradise. Money falling out of your ears up north. Money spilling out of your pockets. White men who actually met your gaze and said hello, he told me. And at that, I laughed. As I made my way to Chicago, I felt a bit like Moses, if I'm honest. I felt as if the country was splitting to make a path for me. Path to a new life. You got any good happy stories? Where things work out for someone, maybe?
I'll try. You're a very pretty birdie, though. Pretty birdie. Pretty birdie. Lighthouse Sanctuary.
That was a good one. Wish I could have your stories around when I'm in a dark place, you know? My past. You think I wasted my life? I'm not sure anymore. As a young man, I thought I fought for something righteous. Now, Lord, who knows? But tell me, what's the wildest thing you've seen out there so far?
Wild thing. Thunderbird people.
Now that's a story to keep a man on the edge of his seat. They say we all free now. I don't know about that. You got any exciting stories? Anything that'll get my heart going?
Yeah, here, let me tell you about Gwen.
Damn, there's one surprising tale. I've been traveling a while now. They don't tell you what happens to your feet after walking.
Man,
They don't tell you how they start to look, feel, smell. Like lumps of meat and leather, all tangled up. But anyway, you know any good true tragedies? I feel like one of those tonight.
true tragedies. How about Aletha?
Body and soul. Bondage. We still living in it. They ain't never gonna let you have nothing, not really have anything at all. We don't get the whip anymore, no. But a boot on our backs as they climb all over us, as they've always done. So, tell me a sad story. Sad and true, okay?
How about the story, Cassidy?
I hear you. Love is one of those fussy woman's things. I'm not supposed to have it, so I don't. That's how I got here. Still wandering, still looking. Maybe somewhere out there's a promised land. But I ain't seen it. Have you?
Promised land? Like where the water tastes like wine? No, not quite yet.
It's nice to sit and talk a while on occasion. But the way you're looking, it tells me you got somewhere to be. Why don't you go on there? And if you end up in that promised land, then send for me after.
I will, birdie. No drifter. It's a great story. You're
I
great.
got no companion except the wind and the sea. And when I'm cold and empty, they're the ones who'll bury me.
In the morning, migrants line the street in an obedient queue, heads down, stomachs grumbling. Every couple minutes, the line lurches forward like the yank of a chain. They're waiting to get into a warehouse. You can't tell why or what's inside. Time passes. Time passes. Time passes. Time passes. Finally, you're ushered inside. A calf's been dumped on the dirt floor, its exposed flank picked apart to the bone. There's a slit running down its stomach, spilling sand instead of blood. A butcher in a muddy smock stands over the cow with a knife, gesturing at you to choose a cut. You eat for the day. You've had better.
Oh, goodness.
Are they all here for the bar, or did any come to hear me? He turns and starts, but recovers swiftly. Thought you were the manager. He laughs. Not here for an autograph, are you? No, of course not. Did you hear me sing?
Yeah.
I suspect you're just being kind. He sighs. I'm a good singer. I packed larger joints. Only the drinkers come here now. They don't give a damn about me. He smiles. It is false, but still warm. Why are you here?
Just passing through, friend.
A traveler? I used to be one. Was singing my way to New York. Got trapped here. Didn't feel like a trap at first. Grabs the glass, swigs, winces. It's love, of course, or used to be. Can you hate the person you love? Truly hate them?
I'm gonna go with no.
He sighs. My fiancée doesn't trust me. Singers are fickle. You'll fall for another. So I stay and my music dies. A glinting track on his face. The path of a tear. The person you love doesn't trust you. No point in proving him wrong. My place, you'd leave. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think so. Think you'd leave.
Saying what I want to hear or the truth? He laughs. Not that it matters. If I stay, I got no future either way. So I need to leave. Damn this town. Damn what she thinks of me. Damn her.
Doing all right. Let's see. Pigeon keeper. Oh yeah, it happens. The killer pigeons. Ooh. Yeah, I got time for one more, I think. Oh, Austin
Evening
Walker.
there. You looking for a sermon or just a chat? Don't really matter, frankly. First thing I ever learned behind the pulpit is that every homily is just a conversation. Ain't as one-sided as you might think either. Preachers ain't shepherds, they're cowboys. They gotta run with the flock, keep them directed without fencing them in. So how about you take a seat and guide us somewhere? Lately, my journey's been pretty ordinary, just walking church to church. What about you? Been on any adventures?
Adventures, huh? He wants a thrilling story. What's thrilling? I don't know what's thrilling. How about the dust monster?
You've got a pretty wild life, you know that?
Nice.
Home? Never had a home. Not the way y'all talk about it anyway. Pops and I had a little trailer for the summer he was wrestling in Atlanta, but otherwise, it was a new floor every week. Hey, do you have any spooky campfire tales? Feels appropriate out here, right?
Spooky campfire tales. Well, that I got.
Oh, you got me for a second with that one.
Nice.
Luck? Forget about luck. Think about necessity. See, you focus on luck, you end up dreaming about what-if scenarios. But ain't nothing promised. You hear me? Instead, think on what you know you can do, what you have to do, and learn to do it right. Know any funny stories? I need to take my mind off things.
Gotta head off. Good rest of your stream. See you later, Blueberry. Thanks for
I'm
stopping
not
by.
sure that one moves me. We all got faith. Every day we stride out into the world, that's faith. Faith that our time alive is limited, and that we must act during our hours and minutes on earth. Faith that what we do matters at all. We all got faith, see? It's just a matter of whether or not we got belief. You must
Fair
have
enough.
seen some pretty wild stuff on the road. What's the most exciting thing you've seen?
At the music haunted store.
Sorry, that kind of thing don't scare me anymore, if that's what you're going for.
Uh-huh.
The past? Huh. My earliest memories of my mother and father teasing each other, laughing about something I didn't quite understand, putting on voices, playing games. This was back before she passed. In some sermons, I need a story to show how hurt or grief works on a person. Have any like that?
Hurt or grief? How about the creepy mill? I don't think I've even told the story to anybody. Can't get out there in the world.
Huh. That one's trying to be scary, right? Don't work on me, I guess. Family? My family was my father. Pops was a catch wrestler. You know, a real fighting man.
Nice.
Used to drag me around, town to town, brawling with whatever local pretty boy they put in the ring. He lost a lot, frankly, but had a mean crucifix lock. Well, I gotta get moving on. I have a sermon to give in the morning, and the church is a long night of walking that way. Walk like you're blessed, child, because even if you ain't, that's the only way you'll find your holy self.
All right. Things are going good. Things are going good. Oh. It's another story update. Let's get that. Grab that real quick here in Savannah. Boy who's shirtless file left him alone in the woods. Yeah. Nice. Alright. Well, another good morning of stories. We'll call it there. You have a wonderful day. Have fun tramping around if you're doing such. And if not, have just a good day in general. If you have any dogs in your life, hug them close, because it's scary tonight. Alright. Later, Gator.